In this week's episode, Wooldridge goes to the wall. Blucon is gone. Demolition could be actively discouraged in London, and a court upholds the disqualification of a demolition director. Welcome to The Wrap. I am your host, Demolition, and it has been a truly terrible week for the UK demolition sector. On Monday, industry news portal Construction Inquirer reported that Wooldridge Contractors has become the latest UK demolition company to slip into administration. According to Construction Inquirer, sources close to the firm said staff started redundancy consultation late last month, but have been kept in the dark since then. Demolition News subsequently received a tip that staff had been sent home from at least one site. Wooldridge's sister demolition and muck-away company Wooldridge Ecotech is also being wound up, and sadly, they are not alone. Solihull-based contractor Blucon Demolition has also slipped into liquidation. According to a creditors list seen by Demolition News, the company owed more than £1.9 million, with HMRC listed as one of the biggest creditors. And there is yet more potential bad news for the UK demolition sector. We'll be back right after this. Demolition should be actively discouraged to help reduce carbon emissions in the nation's capital. That is just one of the recommendations of a new report from the London Assembly entitled Retrofit versus Rebuild: Reducing Carbon in the Built Environment. This report looks at the new approach laid out in the London Plan to assess both operational and embodied carbon emissions through whole life cycle carbon assessments. Those assessments compel builders to show they are working to reduce carbon emissions during construction. They also compel them to actively consider alternatives to demolition such as retention and retrofit, if these reduce the carbon footprint of a development. The report goes on to say, discouraging demolition could positively impact how we manage the quality of our historic housing estates going forward. This, in turn, could positively impact the capacity for communities to remain in their homes and to protect beloved historic community buildings if they choose to. Sakina Sheikh, chair of the Planning and Regeneration Committee, says, there is no room for delay. We need a serious reorientation of our approach in order to ensure climate considerations are embedded at every layer of governance. And finally, a demolition director has failed in his bid to overturn his director ban in the aftermath of the Competition and Markets Authority investigation last year. Brown & Mason's Nick Brown originally agreed to a 7-year disqualification order last May as part of the probe into a demolition cartel that saw 10 firms fined nearly £60 million. Last July, he applied to the High Court for permission to continue to act as a director and to be involved in the management of Brown & Mason Limited and its holding company NRLB Limited, on the basis that the companies needed his continued services as a director. The High Court issued its judgment refusing Brown's application, after concluding that granting leave in this case would be an overly great intrusion into the public benefit of this disqualification. That was the wrap for week commencing the 5th of February 2024. We hope that you enjoyed the show and that you will tune in again very soon. In the meantime, this is me, Demolition, signing off. The Wrap is a demolitionnews.com production.